Hello, everyone. Before we talk about the crime going on in New York City, I want to acknowledge something important that is happening over the border of Queens and Nassau County. And word came out this afternoon from Newsday that Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman has indeed tested positive for coronavirus. The news came out right around 3 o'clock when I was leaving Osdom Hall, and of course, they sent me the notification on the app. So I want to wish the county executive a speedy recovery from COVID 19. The good news is, according to Newsday, the following was said. A county spokesman confirmed to Newsday today that Nassau spokesman Chris Boyle said in a statement, Mr. Blakeman tested positive for coronavirus this weekend and is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms. He is currently working from home and will probably be back at the county building in Mineola sometime before the end of the week. Mr. Blakeman is vaccinated and has been boosted. So, again, well wishes to Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Now, if you know the county executive very well, if you've been to a Nassau County concert at Eisenhower, you will probably see him introducing the shows, of course. I am actually supposed to be seeing him on Friday at Eisenhower Park for a concert that he was able to arrange, and it's a group that I know very well. I'm not going to go into the specifics of who they are, but all I'll just say is the headliner, and if you do go on Friday, they will get you out of your seat. So, trust me, if you know the group who I'm referring to, they were huge back in the 80s. They're a husband and wife duo from Canada. And the husband kind of reminds me of Chris Jericho. Don't ask why, but he does. So, if you know who I'm talking about, just look up Lime and you'll know what I'm talking about. But, again, County Executive Blakeman, get well. I hope to see you on Friday on stage where you belong. And obviously, I will mention that I did get tested for COVID. I was with Joe Saladino this weekend. Well, I wasn't close to him, but I was way far away from him, the town of Oyster Bay supervisor. So hopefully word got out to the Oyster Bay, North Hempstead, and Hempstead town supervisors that, hey, county executive has COVID. If you've been exposed to him, get tested. So far at this moment, we haven't heard any word if any other elected officials in Nassau have gotten COVID, if they were with the county executive in the previous week. So I will not know my COVID results until Wednesday. I don't know if I'm going to get a rapid test yet, but if I don't, hey, I'll find out if I got COVID on Wednesday. And let's hope not, because then that won't be good. And the quality of these videos won't be the best. So let's talk about what's going on in New York City. And specifically, let's talk about Queens. And I will give Channel 1 a lot of credit. And obviously, if the news didn't come out from Nassau, obviously we would have let off with it right away. So if you've not heard what happened in Bayside, and I will actually give Spectrum credit. I never do. But this morning, they did a 2-minute report live on Mornings on 1. Because, Spectrum finally fixed my New York 1 feed. It's been on the fritz for a while, but they finally fixed it. So, thank you to Spectrum News Channel 1 for covering it. So, if you have not heard what happened in Bayside, Queens, dozens of tires were slashed east of the Clearview Expressway over the weekend. I will mention that right now you should see a card coming up. Kimberly Richardson from WABC TV did a fantastic job covering it. And, obviously if I had found out about it, I would have went up to Bayside and I would have done an interview with Kimberly this weekend. And I would have talked about how, when I was running for state senate, this is what the 111 was telling me. We're dealing, especially since last year, not 2020, but 2021. They told me, the NCOs were telling me, the problem is robbery overall in the 111 confines when I was running in the old District 11. The robberies were getting out of control. And does this surprise me that this is happening in the confines of the 111? Honestly, not. And obviously, we have not heard from any elected officials. We have not heard from Assemblyman Ed Braunstein. We have not heard from Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. And, of course, the obvious, we've not heard from John New. So no surprise there. No surprise there. Oh, and not to mention, no response from Congresswoman Grace Ming. And she actually has a good excuse. She's actually in D.C. because she has to vote on the climate bill. But anyhow, here we go. Michael Leponto, a resident in Bayside, woke up this morning to find the tires on his car were slashed. Leponto said, definitely in disbelief. A little frustration. I now have to miss work, and these are brand new tires. So, this is a resident who just moved in a few months ago. So here's what he said. My fiance and I moved here at the beginning of the year, and we love the area. It's just really unfortunate that now we have to consider whether or not this is the place for us to live because we can't trust our other vehicles will be safe at night. Leponto's car is at least one of 44 vehicles with punctured tires in this neighborhood. So the 111 precinct did respond to this area. And again, where are the elected officials? That's what I want to know. Because if I was still running for state senate, you know I would have been in that area today. You know I would have been in that area today. If I had to take the bus, if I had to walk over there from Osdom, you know I would have went over there during my lunch break to talk to the constituents. Because I care about my district. But it seems these elected officials, and yes, even Vicky Palladino, where are they? Where are the elected officials? Shame on them. They don't care. And I'm sorry if Queens GOP is going to give me some flack. But no. This is the time to be with your constituents. You know, this is a major quality of life issue for them. You know? And obviously, if I was running still, I would have probably arranged to have a meeting with the commanding officer of the 111 today. And I would have talked about how we need to beef up patrols on Corporal Kennedy. But no, I'm not running for office. And blame my doctor for that, folks. Blame my doctor and blame New York State redistricting for that. So, obviously tires, let's get into the specifics, can cost between $50 to $200. So, and I agree with what Leponto said in this quote. Whoever did this, I hope they realize you're not popping tires, you're affecting people's days. Exactly, you would have affected my day. What if I had a meeting with Congressman Zeldin, who was running for governor? What if I was meeting with the elected officials in Nassau today? Or, you know, let's say if I was campaigning for other state senate candidates. Because obviously I'm still hoping to help Jack Martins out. Probably on the 23rd if he needs my help. But, yeah. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Alright, so. Look at this. Doris Rabunik said $661. The car was towed for that price. And then look at this. Rabunik said, a few years ago, somebody was taking a bolt cutter and was smashing off side mirrors. They broke windshields. Took and trust me, folks, as somebody who used to live in Bayside, when I was living on 203rd Street, and yes, I will admit where I lived in Bayside before I moved to Fresh Meadows. When I was living on 203rd Street by Rocky Hill Road, this was before I moved. my dad's old 1997 Chevy Tahoe. The burglars, this is when Bloomberg was mayor, by the way. The burglars smashed my dad's windows. They smashed the right window. And funny enough, the alarm didn't go off. I don't know how. But they took my dad's airbags. And we had to file an insurance claim for that. So, trust me, this is normal in Bayside. And this has been going on for years. But you think Corporal Kennedy Street, being by the 111 precinct, you think there'd be more patrols overnight. You think, okay, maybe a lot of the drunk people park their cars, the police would intervene. You know, no, not happening. And obviously, there are no arrests, but if you watch the Channel 7 video that I posted a while ago, they did get an exclusive video of what happened. And the police at the 111 do have an idea of who they're looking for. But they're claiming that this happened sometime overnight Sunday. So, maybe because a lot of people are home on Sunday and, you know, a lot of people, hey, I'm going to work on Monday, I need my car, and then it's Monday morning, and look what happened. I mean, imagine if this happened in Fresh Meadows. Imagine if this happened in my dad's town car. You know how angry and upset I would be? You know how angry and upset my father would be? Especially if I have to make up time trying to get over to Ostam Hall so I can get my COVID test for the week. And imagine if this was next week, I'm seeing my friend who's visiting from Syracuse. I'm trying to make up time, get the COVID test, get over to Auburndale train station. Imagine if this happened to me in Fresh Meadows. Let's hope it doesn't, but what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the area of where did this happen. So the police from the 111 believe that it may have to do with the taverns right around here on Bell Boulevard. They're claiming it was probably just a bunch of drunk people who, I guess, had a little too much booze and went a little haywire. But still, I mean, that doesn't give the 111 any excuse to not do patrols on weekends. Especially east of the Clearview. You know, west of the Clearview, keep in mind, the drunk people aren't going to go over the bridge. Because look how much of a shape it is. So, this is what they were talking about. Somewhere around this general vicinity. So, this is 42nd Avenue. And this is where the police believe the tires were slashed. Somewhere around here. So, yep, that's what's going on, you know. And here's Corporal Kennedy, but we're not looking for that. We're looking for this. We have an update regarding the squatters. And it's not pleasant news. Wow, would you look at that? Look who's coming back. My former state senator, Tony Avila. Look at this. You cannot make this stuff up. So here we go. Former state senator Tony Avila gathered together with several Bayside residents yesterday to discuss how to get rid of the squatters that have been occupying a home on 38th Avenue. Ever since an incident back in March, in which gunshots were fired off in the neighborhood by individuals renting the house at 208-16 38th Avenue from squatters through Airbnb, several residents in the area have been in contact with local leaders, including Senator John Liu, Congresswoman Grace Sming, Ed Braunstein, and they don't even acknowledge this, City Councilwoman Vicky Palladino, trying to get the squatters evicted. So, there is some decent news. Con Edison has cut off the gas and electric. So now they're looking to get the water service cut off. So this is very interesting. The squatters are still in the house. No air conditioning. during the heat wave. Isn't this interesting? Isn't this interesting, folks? And this is actually on the homepage of the Queen's Courier, not the tire slashings. You know where you have to find the tire slashings? On the Queen's Chronicle. Yeah. Now, this is something else that's interesting. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz is also looking into this. So, again, where's the governor? She should be getting involved in this too. Okay, so we do have an update. So the community group led by former State Senator Tony Avila will be having another press briefing on Saturday, September 10th at 11 a.m. So I hope the residents are going to finally get their wish, because this house should be for sale right now. It's responsible people. But no, not how we do things. Shame on you. Okay, so let's take a look at the police and fire archive to see what else we got to talk about. Well, I have to fulfill my Passengers United obligation, it seems. Because remember, I'm still part of Passengers United, the group led by Charlton D'Souza. So here we go. Subway rider attacked inside the Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue train station. So let's see when this happened. So here's what we know. According to the 110 precinct in Transit District 20, Crime Stoppers released surveillance images with what happened back in July. So a 37-year-old man was assaulted at the Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue station during the evening hours of Friday, July 15th. Authorities say the victim bumped into the suspect, who proceeded to punch him multiple times in the face before running out an emergency exit gate and out the station towards Broadway and 77th. EMS responded. The victim was taken to MIC Health Elmhurst Hospital for treatment. So, this is what we know. The man was last seen spotted at the underground tracks, and I believe this is where the E, F, M, and R trains are, if I am correct. And this is normally a crowded station, so they got a pretty good look of this guy. Oh boy, guess what, folks? We have an epic fail! The other faces were blurred out! That's an epic fail right there, because New York is a one-party consent state. Ah, man, I don't know why they blurred out the other faces. Really? So that's the guy they're looking for, but again, it seems not that many people understand how our one-party consent rules work. You know, if you're in public, you don't have the right to privacy in New York. You know, that's the thing. Now, if this was Florida, that would be a different story. People would lash out at you for that. Just as an example. So, let's see what else we're going to read. I'll see what's the main thing. Oh, look at this. We have a homicide in Rosedale. So, yep. We're going to read that. We're going to read that. Because there's actually some news we need to talk about in the Bronx. So, let's read this. And then we're going to look for the two big news that happened in the Bronx. Because we do need to talk about that. Because Channel 1 has, of course, put off talking about what happened in the Bronx. Two major news stories ignored in the boogie down. So, let's get into these three stories in Queens before we read our last two stories from the Bronx. So first up, hate crime reported at the Queens Plaza subway station according to the 114. So here we go. The Hate Crimes Task Force is cooperating with the 114th Precinct. This happened last month. On Tuesday, July 26th, a 37-year-old man was riding a southbound E train at the Jackson Avenue Queens Boulevard stop. So I believe, if I am correct, this is Queens Plaza. Yeah, that's not Court Square. So according to the Hate Crimes Task Force, an unidentified man approached him and began assaulting him with a closed fist. I can't read that word because then YouTube will demonetize the video. Shouting anti-Hasidic... Oh! This is a Jewish hate crime. Oh, no. No. That is so unfortunate. The victim of the unprovoked attack suffered a laceration to the lip, fled on foot in an unknown direction. The victim was taken to New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell in Astoria in stable condition. So, MTA surveillance. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but this is a better picture because this is the same video we saw earlier. Okay, so let's get into the homicide that happened in Rosedale. So what happened in Rosedale, you may be wondering? Well, an 18-year-old teenager shot to death. Here's what we know. Gunfire erupted last night, 6:17 p.m. on a dead-end block on 148th Avenue and 231st Street in Rosedale. The 105 precinct did respond to this call. 18-year-old Tyshawn McDonald of 184th Street in Springfield Gardens was shot in the chest. Mr. McDonald was taken to NYC Health Jamaica Hospital Trauma Center, where he was pronounced dead a short time later. Police from the 105 precinct learned that a second individual had been wounded in the shooting. A 24-year-old man suffered a gunshot wound to his leg and was brought by private means to NYC Health Jamaica Hospital seeking treatment. Law enforcement sources confirmed that the other shooting victim was listed in stable condition. So, this is what I mean. Channel 1 ignored this. And then, this also happened in Queens. So here's what we know. Saturday night, elderly woman was critically injured after being run over by a car, 103rd Avenue between 125th and 126th Street. Around 11:20 on August 6th. When a motorist was going west in a Nissan Maxima sedan, hit the elderly woman. The victim was standing between two parked cars before she tried to cross the street. So, the good news is the police confirmed this was not a hit and run. A 22-year-old male driver did stay at the scene. The 67-year-old lady was taken to NYC Health Jamaica Hospital Trauma Center in critical condition. So, according to Crash Mapper, 20 previous crashes injuring 25 people on a two-way residential block over the past 11 years, concentrated at two intersections of 125th and 126th Street. So, okay, so to wrap up this video, we're going to watch two brief stories from News 12 The Bronx. And what's going on in the Boogie Down, you may be wondering? Well, just days after I was using the Yankee Stadium subway station, of course, to see the New York Yankees play, guess what? There was a stabbing! And Channel 7 actually interviewed the stabbing victim, so if you want to see that interview, I will have a card for that. So let's watch the video from News 12 The Bronx on what happened at Yankee Stadium.
In our alert center this morning, police are still searching for a man in connection to a stabbing that happened inside of the 161st Street Yankee Stadium subway station. We're told this happened yesterday around 1:30 in the afternoon. We've got video here for you, so take a look. A 33-year-old man was on the escalator when we're told someone stabbed him in the back before leaving the subway station. Police say the victim is currently in stable condition. And again, police are still searching for that suspect you saw right there running down the escalator on your screen. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more about this story.
So, no reporter, no surprise, but let's see. So this happened at 1:30 yesterday afternoon. Interesting. Okay. So according to Crime Stoppers, they are looking for this man right here. You just saw in the video. The police from the 44th Precinct are currently investigating this incident. So okay. So the 44 serves Yankee Stadium. Okay, that's good to know at least, because I know the 109 serves Citi Field. But in any regard, the 44 will be offering a reward up to $3,500. So, last but not least, let's watch this. This is disturbing. A jewelry heist in the Bronx. So, let's watch the video.
On camera, police are releasing video of a $2 million jewelry heist all in broad daylight. Security cameras captured the robbery when 4 men broke into Rocco's Jewelry on Fordham on Friday afternoon. The video shows the men using a hammer to break open display cases to steal the high-end diamonds. We're told they made out with over $2.1 million worth of jewelry.
So, very unfortunate what's been going on. And of course, Channel 1 ignores this. You want proof? You really want proof that they don't want to talk about what's going on in the Bronx? Let's see. Let's see. Because this is interesting. Migrants. Migrants. Really? You have an obligation to cover the 5 boroughs. Alright? That's Channel 1 in a nutshell. But, well, this is it. See what I mean? Look how they constantly refresh the webpage. So I'm done here. I am finished. Alright? You know, again, I'm glad Channel 1 was in Bayside this morning. They actually were live, but, you know, sometimes with Spectrum, they're hit or miss, and I'm going to keep calling them out. They have to be called out, and I'm not going to stay silent until, again, they go tell me to go shut up and live in Delaware, which I'm getting very close to that point at this, from what's going on. And unrelated note, Kathy Hochul and the COVID state of emergency on Saturday, because I'm really getting sick and tired of my residents telling me, we can't hear you, we can't hear you, take the mask off. You know, we want to show our faces to our residents, but no, Kathy Hochul, you decide not to. So that's it. Stay cool during the remainder of the heat wave tomorrow, because we got one more day of this. Let's hope we can make it to Wednesday.